Hello and welcome everybody to today's Devstream. We have our character of the day, my lord. Let's get into it. So today, what we're going to be working on is our card back here. Because if we look at like the new energy card back and just how everything is looking now when we look at the whole thing together, we can see that this card back isn't really matching everything else. So what we need to do is adjust it, make a new one, so that it does go with it. Although, to be fair, the current one does look pretty dang sweet in the engine. We gotta show that off. There we go. The current one does look pretty sweet in engine. But yeah. Anyway, let's get to making this even better, more matching. And what I'm going to start off with is coming here to this, and I am going to grab this and make sure that's on the right layer. Yep. So we'll copy that, and we will make a new layer somewhere. That's not a new layer. We'll put it here. So first I need to figure out what is what here, because I have not worked on this in forever. So that's the bulk of the card. And you have the track horizontal, vertical. What is that? That's the fake glow. Which I don't need that because we're doing that in engine now. That's scaling stuff. That's mountain stuff. And lines. We'll likely get rid of those completely. The glow bars. You know, we don't need this anymore. We can merge these together. And just call this the logo. Actually, I don't want to merge those together now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, nope, do not want to do that. Alright. So how do we want to incorporate these colors into here and make it look good? Well, if we look at a color hierarchy kind of thing, we have these neons being the brightest thing, so we'd probably want the brightest color from here as that. If we use that for this, we may not, but we may at the same time. I think this is more of a medium color. Mountains definitely very dark except for the highlights, and this is a gradient up here of a few different dark colors, and then we have some light colors here. And I have a knock at my door. But anyway, so we have let's see here, 1, 2. This probably needs to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors, although something can be reused. Okay. Actually, I want to move this up here. It's more clear. So let me actually do a color examination on this here before we go any farther. And the easiest way to do that is put this on a new layer, and then we'll turn this to black and white. So now we can more clearly see what is our dark colors and what's our light colors. So is this color darker than, no, that's lighter. So then this color looks pretty similar to that one in brightness. Let's see what the actual thing here says. That's 34 and that's 34. Does this go? And people don't get hints. That's 33. So this color is just slightly lighter. So then our color order goes. This is, yeah. This is 1. This is 2. Oh, excuse me. That's 2. And that's 3. And this is 4, 5, and 6. So that's fairly easy to remember, actually. So now that we know that, that would mean if we were to go off of that, this would be our lightest color, which we would take that and use that for the track. Let's see here. Why is that not going down? Because I didn't select the color, apparently. We don't want any tolerance on, but we do want flood on. And then we'll do the same thing vertically. We could do the same thing for neon, but we won't at this point. Now then, our second darkest color would be this color. And our second darkest color on here, I think it's that, but actually, you know what? Before we just go up and do that, what I want to do is make double sure with this. No, actually, that is our darkest color, looking at it now. Good thing I did that. Although, I meant, maybe it's our darkest color. It's definitely not our second lightest. Let me get rid of the scan lines and then look at it again. Why did that do that? Why is it doing that? There we go. So is this color, I thought it was really dark. 8 versus this one, that's 5. So probably our darkest of darks up here, but I mean this is not far off. So let me turn back on the scan lines for now. So if we grab our second darkest color here, and then we lay that down here, and actually we'll get rid of that now. So we'll grab our actually darkest color here, and then we'll put that here. Yep. Now we can grab our second darkest color, which is here, and then we'll put that down here, but we'll bring it down like that. Right. I'm noticing something right here on my monitor. I think my monitor might be dying. Which is not good. So then, when we go to, we want one of our lighter colors. Maybe this color here, for the mountain lighting, like that, and then probably we probably want our darkest color here for this, right? You know, honestly, I think I would want to actually let me grab this color, and we'll do that for this. But then come back and grab this color for the track. So then maybe what I'll do is grab this color for the mountain lighting, like that, and then I did do a gradient up here between those two, and I did have scan lines. So what if I grab this color here, and I turn the scan lines back on, and I do that. It's not looking bad. Don't necessarily like it at the moment though. not using this color at all. Maybe if I use this color for mountain lighting, shadows, lighting. Yeah, it's not bad. What if I use this for the actual mountain itself? Oh, those are the same color. Okay. Let me turn off that. Not trying to look at that. So that, yeah, they are the same color. And I do not want that. So if we grab this color and we select this area here, we go like that. And then we put our scan lines back. Don't know if I like that. What if I use this color for this? That's better, I think. I think I need maybe there's my colors out. Oh, I did that on the wrong layer. If I grab that, and then I come over here to the mountain lighting and do that, that looks better. Although now you can't see neon at all. Let's get rid of that for now. I think this is going somewhere now. If I move Neon Continuum down. No, you know what? I got a better idea. Why don't I grab this glow bar color and then get it there. Yeah, that's getting better. What does chat think about it? Let me look at the list things. Um, hmm. What I'm going to do is duplicate that layer. We'll turn, we'll call this neon side. I'll call this one neon center. We'll shut off neon side. Or, yeah. Then we'll duplicate this one. I'll call this continuum side. And shut it off. And then we'll call this one continuum center. Like that. So if we take this and we move this to the center roughly, that, and then we'll take this one and move this roughly to the center. Like that. Now we measure and get it exactly centered. Okay, and that's 36. And this is 35. So as close to center as it can get. This is 87. This is 81 and 87. Yeah, so it needs to move over this way. And this went the right. And this needs to be, say, neon center, not just center. 1, 2, 3. Could be either it or right at it. That's 84. And this is 84. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Just to make this easier for me, and I can separate them later. Logo center. Logo side. And I want to duplicate this one and call this one, we'll go center up. And what we'll do is take this and move this up here, like that. And actually, I want to also try duplicating this one. Turn that one off, and we'll call this center side up, like that. And then we'll move this one up. Like so. Alright. Now back it up here. Remove that from this. That from this. I don't want to invest the time into that right now until I get feedback on this. I also don't want to invest time in either of those, I don't think. So maybe we'll ship it like this for now and get feedback. What did I just do? Okay, let me see here. What is this? That's that, which should be merged down here. Background. Like that. Well, we'll say this is done for now. And see what feedback says. So we'll do that. Let's kill this because we don't need this anymore. Let's go on to something else right now. Okay. Just putting some documentation down here for me. David too. So let's work on some numbers. When I say some numbers, I mean these numbers. Shouldn't be too big of a task. Emphasis on shouldn't. Actually, you know what? I don't want to. Not right now. Let's play with the neon's icon a little bit. Because somebody had a suggestion of something like this. Here. So let's take one of these. I think I might take this one. Let me make sure. Okay. So I like the slimness of this one. Okay. Now what he did was he deleted two of the top two of these. And then he made the screen a lot bigger and this a lot smaller. So if we were to grab it here, and pull it down by maybe 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we pull this part down by 3. 3. And then we pull this part down by 3. 1, 2. Let me grab this differently. Like that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 2. Grab this a little bit differently again. 4. Okay. And what we'll do is grab it here. Not there. Here, and we take this down by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll match. Bring these parts down to match. So, and then we'll grab this part. No. Okay. Grab this part, bring this down. This part, and bring this down. And then we'll grab this and we'll pull this down and try to put it even. Let's measure. This is 8. And this is 8. So we have that. I think the screen could actually come down just a hair bit more because there's a rather large gap. Either that or these things could go up. These button things. Maybe I'll try moving the button things up a little bit. 2 pixels. Hey Mike, what's up? Things are going alright, pretty alright. Just was working on a new card back. Of course, I have many different versions. I have this version, I have this version, this one, and this one. Trying to, because basically when we look at the card game, where is it at? Here. When we look at this, you can see that these are kind of mismatching with everything else. Especially since I changed the energy card. Of course, I didn't change this one. This is still the old energy card. But since I changed the new one, it feels like this is mismatching. I never actually tried this on there. I should probably try this on there. See here, my personal favorite so far, I think, is this. No, not that one. This one. So let me actually just save this as a demo version, demo 1, because I'll need to save all 4 of them eventually to get feedback on it. But if I grab this now, And I'll just undo all those changes so it goes back to that. But if I do that, and then I come up here to this layer. Oh yeah, I forgot these are massive compared. And why is that transparent? Oh, because it's on the wrong layer, but it's not going to look right when I scale it down, but it should look good when it's in engine being scaled. And I also forgot that it's different proportions, I believe. Yeah, it is different proportions. It's definitely something I need to account for. Get rid of that. And I need to find out what layer that Project Triad is on. That's the layer. And then get rid of that. Gives you an idea how it looks together. What do you think? Do you like the new one better? Not just the width, because that's something that's on the new one. This is an older one. We made them skinnier so that there was more room to move things around, which I need to actually scale things and set things up with that. I think the new one definitely matches better. But I don't know. I'm not sold on it being done. You know, outside of effects from programming and whatnot. But anyway, right now I'm working on a new neon's icon because somebody suggested something like this. So this is what I made so far. Oh, wrong page for room. So what do you think about the new card back so far? Actually, I think what I want to do is move these back down. And I want to... Actually, you know what? I'll move them back up. Dang it. Never mind. I won't do it, but... what I want to try is put some other buttons in here. About here. Was good, but you don't know. So you're saying that you think there might be problems, but it's better than before? If so, that's kind of what I'm coming to. That's my thoughts on it. Add some shape in there. Uh, if you're, I was referring to this right here. This is the card back. Just the back of a card. You know, when you flip it over, it looks like this. But this is the back side of it. Yeah. Well, if you look at the one that's in engine right now, when you have effects and stuff applied to it, this is what it looks like. The old one looks like in engine. Although it doesn't have all the effects applied to it, but all the effects are applied to the back, just not all to the front. Well, not all the... It depends on if you got the cosmetic version or not, because the cosmetic version, the grid would move. But in the non-cosmetic version, the grid would not move. This would be the, you know, the card back here would be 100% for the normal non-paid version, non-bought version. But the like the, you know, if you were to buy the cosmetic one, it would do something like this right here. Yeah. The whole game's 2.5D. I mean, like, it started out as pure 2D. And it was stayed pure 2D for a long time. But now it's 2.5D. And it's like, so far on 2.5D, it's almost just 3D at this, by the time we get done with it. Which is funny. Because something I'll be working on, in theory, in a future stream, will be these backgrounds here. Because I'll be taking on these backgrounds. Let's see if we can look at a background. That is not where I want to be here. So, like, this is the current background that we're using right here. Which, I don't really like this, but we're going into VR, so you're going to need to be able to look around in this. But this is actually started off life as a 3D model, right here. To kind of show you these. Let me zoom in on that one a little bit. This one needs to be zoomed in a little bit more. But you can... Oh, come on. Might be easier if you're just looking at them side by side. You can see it, right? So basically what the old artist did was he had done this in 3D kind of thing. And then he just took this and drew over it. Like this. And what we're swapping to now is actual 3D background. So you can actually look around in it. So I'm going to, in future streams, be making 3D backgrounds like this. And try to make them look as close, you know, to this as basically possible. And actually, I'm not just going to be doing a quote-unquote 3D background, but I'm going to be doing an entire city, which is scope on top of scope kind of thing. But, like, it's going to be, this city is going to have, like, 1,000 different purposes. Yeah. I've got Blender right here. Mind you, I have, like, nearly zero experience in 3D art, so it's going to be a learning process. But to be honest, I had zero experience with UIart before I worked on Neon Continuum because, like, I didn't do any UIart for Chromasia, you know? I just did a lot of the pixel art that a lot of people hate, you know? But I've learned a lot since then, and going to be learning a lot. Been looking at a few tutorials about Blender and such. I have done one thing in 3D before. Which, hold on, let me make sure I don't show anything I don't want to show off here. Okay, yeah, right here. This is the only thing I made in 3D. You know, a 3D chair here that I've followed a 5-10 minute tutorial to make and just copied one for one. So I have like zero experience with it. But the thing is I'm looking at this here, and it's like, I'm pretty sure I can do all of this the exact same way I did that chair. Turning that into this is another story entirely, you know? But found some cool tutorials that would actually make an entire city far lower scope, because you're just taking a real city and importing it into Blender to a point, and then you're modifying it after. And from what I've been told is you generally only want to do a small part of a city because it takes a while to render. So I will be importing an entire city off stream while my computer cries. I don't know when I'm going to be doing that, but we'll see how it turns out. But this city is going to be used for many things. And Josh just tweeted, but it's going to be used as a background for the game. It's also going to be used for the background for the cards. So we're going to be putting these characters in the 3D environment kind of thing, in billboard fashion, if you're familiar with what that is. And then we're going to be putting like some kind of like normal map or UV map or something over them, that you won't be able to see, that will have the lighting from the environment, from the 3D environment, affect the characters so that they are lit properly in their environment and feel like they're not just pasted in there kind of thing, and feel like they're actual part of the environment. And with the with the glowing neon signs, kind of radiating and whatnot, you'll see that kind of radiation on the character kind of thing, and a little animation kind of thing of sorts. And it should be really cool. So like the backgrounds for the, like it sounds very pro. I hope it looks very pro. We'll have to get it done and see how it works out. But I mean, right now the game is, we're just trying to get rid of bugs and major issues with the core gameplay loop right now. But we've squashed quite a lot of them. So like the next playable version on the 7th here, a little bit over a week from now, that we'll be playing in the Discord kind of thing, might be pretty fun. I hope it's pretty fun, because the last few versions have not been fun. They've been funner each time, but they have not been quote-unquote fun. But hopefully the next version is extremely fun. Tell your friends about it, fun kind of thing. But yeah, and when we do that, we'll be able to set up the characters anywhere in the city kind of thing, which means that we can then sell a bunch of different cosmetics, allowing you to change the backgrounds between the characters. And when you move one character from one background to another kind of thing, the lighting changes will actually change the character too kind of thing, because of the glowing and radiating onto them. And the backgrounds will move on the background of the behind the card kind of thing, giving you a farther 3D look and everything into it. And all kinds of different things. And so the 3D city is going, while it's large scope on its own, compare that to making, just 150 different 2D backgrounds for every card, and 20 or 30 backgrounds for the game, and in just 2D. It's like, yeah, the 3D should be a lot lower scope, over all that, you know. So like, it should look better and it should be lower scope, and I'm going to attempt to do as much of it as I can. And also it opens up the possibility of like just so many more backgrounds kind of thing, because we could just, there, you know, in a legitimate full city, there's just so many potentials of places where you can take a photo, you know, kind of thing, as a background kind of thing. And it'll be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Crazy good, hopefully. But yeah, should be interesting, to say the least. What am I thinking about those buttons? Like, it feels like it's missing something over here. So maybe I need to change the shape of these buttons to match this sloping. Maybe that. What does that feel? That feels better. By the way, what I'm working on here is the icon for a device that is basically, essentially, a digital wallet of sorts. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's one of those hurry up and wait kind of situations, you know what I mean? It's I'm busy and then I have nothing to do, and then I'm busy and then I have nothing to do, and then I'm busy. And also part of it's, you know, I've been trying to go, you know, convince myself to start on that 3D background for like, I don't know, like a month, maybe not that long, maybe like two weeks. I don't know. It's been a bit, and it's like I haven't been able to push myself to get into it, kind of thing, because I know it's going to require a lot of work and effort and all that, you know. So like, I haven't been as busy as I should be, I guess what I'm saying. Partly because I'm kind of scared of the task, kind of thing. You know, what if I put a button here and gives us a little bit of breathing room here? Blender is a big B. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Something else I could do to make those feel more like buttons. Let me copy this and I'll move it over here. And to make these feel more like buttons, what I can do is do that. And let me actually make another version. Yeah, it's kind of daunting to have basically no experience in Blender, essentially, and then it's just like, yeah, I'm going to make an entire fucking city. It's like, over your head much? And like, yeah, it is, but at the same time, like, it's not out of the question, because like, I know a lot of the stuff I need to know from that tutorial with that chair. Yeah, I do not like that at all. So what if we were to fatten this button out? But it feels like I'm completely over my head. But I don't think I technically am. No more than usual, anyway. I probably technically am, just no more than usually over my head. You know what I mean? With the multiplayer, only CCG as my second game. Which is not what I wanted to do, but it's what was calling to be done, if that makes any sense. Because, like, we did playtesting on it, and, like, everybody went nuts over it when we did the original playtest on this. And we needed to swap to something that was low scope on programming, because Monkey didn't have enough time to work, and now he has no time to work, and I had to hear somebody else. So a lot lower scope than what you want to call it, Project Golem. Yeah, don't like that either. But you know, if I knew how hard everything was going to be with Neon Continuum and how much of a headache things would have been, I probably wouldn't have done it, to be honest. But at the same time, if I knew the potential and how good it looks right now, I probably would have. You know what I mean? Depending on how much Josh's masochism rubbed off on me. However, I didn't know either of those things, so I went in blind. You know, foresight is 20/20 kind of thing. I also probably wouldn't have went with the cyberpunk theme had I known about Cyberpunk 2077. Although had I known that it was going to be the bomb that it was, I would have, you know. But when I learned about it, it scared the whole living piss out of me. I was like, we better get our game out soon. Because we're on a countdown timer. We still are. But less so than before. Oh, excuse me. I like that. I think we'll cross that off of the list for now. Now I've got to mess with my list. Okay. Let's give this a save as 18. There we go. And we are right at time. So this is probably the best place to stop. I was kind of hoping to work on one more thing, but I think we made a good bit of progress. We got some new I have not heard from Rob since basically he left. And I started doing the Safely Stream podcast with Josh, and I have I've heard stuff about him from Josh though, and everything I've heard from Josh kind of thing is that he was very, very busy kind of thing, and staying really busy. But then like he I don't think Josh has actually talked to him in several months kind of thing. Because last time I talked to Josh about Rob, they had been out of contact for a bit. So I half assumed that that's still the case, but I mean, I've been meaning to ask Josh about it recently, but I haven't. And I mean, you can always ask Josh yourself too. But yeah, it's last I checked, he was busy or out of touch kind of thing. Yeah, Rob was a cool guy. I don't like the company he works for. I absolutely detest the company he works for, but Rob's a cool guy. You know what I mean? But yeah. I'd definitely like to see Rob again. You know, maybe he can come on for a show or something. Although I've kind of completely taken over the Safely Stream podcast, so he could probably come on for another show kind of thing. One that, you know, one of the quote-unquote developer interviews kind of thing. Or, you know, something like what he does with Tomo, with the monthly Game of the Month kind of thing. I mean, there's plenty of room for Rob to come back in a lot of different capacities without, you know, coming onto the Safely Stream podcast. But, like, yeah, I'd definitely like to see him come back. Because him and Josh are the reason why I really like this channel to begin with. I came to this, you know, well, not this channel, but the Game Wisdom channel. Came there because I wanted to see more of the Safely Stream podcast kind of thing with Rob before his name, the Safely Stream podcast, and then I ended up doing it. Yeah, there's some irony there. I came because I wanted to see more of it and learn more, and then I ended up doing it myself, and then learning by teaching. You know what I mean? Learning more by teaching. Because, like, when you teach us stuff, you learn stuff that you technically already knew, but you didn't know it from that perspective, because you're trying to frame stuff from different perspectives when you're teaching it, and give analogies and all this other stuff. So that, like, it makes things click in your mind more firm. It's kind of like, you know, kind of like when you're not teaching kind of thing. It's like two gears in a transmission that are grinding, but then when you teach it kind of thing, those gears snap in. It's not that the knowledge wasn't there, that the gears were not there. It's that they were not meshing and getting as efficient transfer as they could kind of thing. If that makes any sense. But I deeply enjoy doing the Safely Stream podcast. And the Indie Inquiry. Which, I mean, the Indie Inquiry was sort of my creation kind of thing. Because I was like, Josh, you know, for viewers' sake, we should probably get rid of the weird game segment from the Safely Stream podcast. And he's like, oh, but I love it, you know, kind of thing. So I was like, you know, well, maybe we can move that into a separate show kind of thing. So we moved it into a separate show, and then some feedback, you know, evolved it, and then, you know, I was giving feedback, everybody else was giving feedback, and all this other stuff, and it evolved into what it is today, and it will continue to evolve, kind of thing. And you know, and also it was my idea to get rid of the news at the beginning of the Safeway Stream podcast too, and very much shorten out the intros, keep them really short, you know, all to increase viewership, you know what I mean, and get people, because nobody cares, you know, if we got a vaccine or whatever kind of thing, you know. Nobody cares about that stuff, so we, you know, it's like, we're going to cut all that stuff out and just keep the intros short and sweet, kind of thing. And also just lower down the playtime so that more people are more likely to watch. And then I started being like, let's do some pre-shows now, kind of thing. So now, like, before we actually do the podcast kind of thing, we do kind of a speed run of the podcast, talking about, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, and just kind of not getting a script out, but, you know, kind of getting a script out based off of, you know, different topics kind of thing. And since then, you know, me and mostly me, but, you know, also Josh have less stumbled over our words and less, you know, lots of less ahs, and you know, kind of thing. Now that we've been doing that, and, you know, we also do that with the, you know, Indie Inquiry kind of thing, which made the Indie Inquiry way faster, because before we were doing that, reviewing 2 games on the Indie Inquiry took, like, I think, like, I don't know, they were like 30, 40, 50 minutes per game. Now we do them in like 40 minutes for 2 games kind of thing. So we like half the time, because we already know what we're going to say, because we've already talked it out in the pre-show kind of thing. And kind of, we've already kind of made up our grades and all this other stuff. We do all that stuff now before we even do the show. But we don't 100% remember everything we said. But yeah, it made the show way, way better kind of thing, doing the pre-shows. And people were loving it, you know. So, yeah, it's definitely something, you know, that I've definitely had a hand in, and, you know, and then, you know, then I started, you know, co-streaming it on my channel, you know, both the Safeway Stream podcast and the Indie Inquiry. I don't co-stream the Safeway Stream, not the Safeway Stream podcast. I don't co-stream the Roundtable, though. I leave that to Josh for now. I mean, maybe one day I'll do it, but highly doubtful. But, you know, not trying to, you know, take the wind out of Josh's sails kind of thing, you know what I mean? But at the same time, trying to grow my channel more, you know. And, I mean, my channel growth is really, really slow. I mean, it took me, like, when I first made it kind of thing, went from like 0 to like 40, like almost overnight kind of thing. And then I went up to 45 over the next month. But then it's been like, I think like 6-7 months to get up to 50, you know? And I keep on dropping, you know, I've been to 50 3 times now and dropped down to 49 3 times. I'm currently at 50 subs right now, unless I've dropped down in the last, you know, stream. No, I'm still at 50. So like it's been a grind, that's for sure, you know. But doing everything I can to make the content better over here, you know, which is the reason why I'm cutting these dev streams down from 2 hours down to 1 hour, which is the reason why we're 10 minutes past time right now. And you know, again, trying to make everything a lot more digestible for the YouTube audience so that we can get stuff. And that's also the reason why I've been putting up edited versions of the shows kind of thing. Although I have not been doing that over the last few weeks, last several weeks. Because I can't remember the first time I was having issues with just being too busy and too stressed, and now it's like I need a new company name, and now I'm stressing about it, and I'm going to have to build a new Twitter. So like it's feeling less worth it to actually, put out edited content that most people are not. The new subscribers and everything that I get on Twitter are not going to probably transfer to the new account. So like, and I'm not really gaining subscribers on YouTube. So like, I mean, like it feels like if I really put forth a lot of effort, it'll be all wasted effort kind of thing. So like, just building up a massive backlog at this point from that, and we'll get that better. Hopefully I'll get the company renamed soon and get those outputting. Also, I was having issues with just, doing the work itself, because like it was burning me out, because like it was just way too much work, So like I've changed like methods of editing where it's in most cases it's a lot better editing, at the same time it being a lot less work. The Indie Inquiry, though, is not much better editing, but it is far, far less work. But, doing the pre-show and everything makes it much better, makes it where, because what I was doing was I was just going through the video for like, I was going through a video for like 20 hours kind of thing for one Safely Stream podcast video. And I was just editing the first 20 minutes and just editing out every bit of spaces of air with like, yeah, and then another space of air kind of thing. Just editing that stuff out, and just, it was monotonous. It took me like 20 hours just to edit the first 20 minutes of a Safeway Stream podcast video. So what I do now, instead of doing that, well, what I was doing before, everything with the name happened, was I just go through the video and find like a 3 to 10 minute clip kind of thing that is really good point kind of thing. And basically I turn it into a highlight kind of thing. And then I release that and I edit that highlight down to, as short as I can kind of thing. And that usually only takes me an hour or two of editing. And then I release that, and on the video, I link to the whole thing, which I release the day after the podcast kind of thing. So it makes it far, far less work, And then I go and, for the Indie Inquiry, I was also doing that. And, since it was only an hour-long show kind of thing, or 2 hours before we started, doing the pre-show, I would end up spending, again, 20 hours editing it, or like, probably like 8 hours editing it now, after we did the pre-shows kind of thing. And then I would release it that way. And what I stopped doing that, and I would release it as 2 shows, but what I do now is I just heavily edit the intro, heavily edit the outro kind of thing. And then I cut the 2 games into 2 sections, and then post those in the middle, as 2 different episodes, unedited. And that's, made it where I can do that in, an hour or so, rather than taking, 10, 15 hours for 2 episodes of that, So, like, all that made me really burned out, kind of thing. And I don't think I've technically still recovered fully from that. And then for the dev streams, what I was doing was I was again going through and editing out a lot of stuff. And it was just, or at one point I was just putting them up unedited. But both of those didn't work the best. And what I do now, or was doing rather, is I just delete all the audio from the cast. Another thing I did was I edited the first part, the intro part, before I queued up the music, and then I would, play rest of it unedited. That's another thing I did, which was not much work. That only took me like 30 minutes to do, kind of thing. But it wasn't great quality. What I do now is more work, but it's not too much more work, and that's take the whole thing, throw away all the audio from it, edit down the video, and use like fast forward and all this other stuff, so that I'm doing, art is a lot faster paced kind of thing. Cut out any sections like the section right here where we're just talking kind of thing, and cut all that out and get it to where it's one quick streamlined video, probably about 5-10 minutes in length, and then I go and record new audio for it, and then I position that audio in there and then put it out, and it's a short, turns a hour, 2 hour dev stream into 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 10 minutes. I think the longest one I've had, since I did that was like 7 minutes. I think the shortest one was like 3. But and then I put that out and I put some music in there that fits that time period. And, same music you hear on the stream. And put it out there. Usually takes maybe 2 hours to do that. But again, the dev streams are probably the most important part of my channel. Actually, they are the most important at this point anyway. So just getting that out there in an edited form, I think that's worth the extra work. And it's not, 2 hours is not too much longer than 30 minutes kind of thing. Well, there will still be unedited stuff, but those are unlisted kind of thing. Because, people can go back and see them if they have the links from Discord kind of thing. They won't be able to see them any other way, but if they go through Discord and look at the announcements kind of thing, they can see the whole unedited version kind of thing. But, for sound, I just record completely new sound for those. And I think they worked out quite well because people really like them. I just haven't been doing them lately. I haven't been doing any of it lately because just, I gotta name the company. And I've got to get into 3D. Lots of things I gotta do, that I don't want to do. Because I don't want to rename the company. But it's not a have to, but it is a have to at the same time. It's a have to if I want to have a peaceful life, because share my company name being the same exact name as a pirate site for games, not a good look, because all it's going to take is one YouTuber to be like, you know what, fuck Nexus Games, because they're a horrible company, they pirate games and all this other stuff, and then I get all kinds of haters coming into my Discord and causing all kinds of problems. I think we've already gotten some of those because we had somebody a few weeks ago at the beginning of this escapade kind of thing that kept on making, had a bot and kept on making new accounts and coming in and saying all, doing all kinds of bad things. And, I was banning them, Ferret was banning them, every 2 minutes, just, in. And I had to raise the security on my Discord to where you couldn't say anything until you had been a member for a day or two. And you had to, also verify your email and everything else, and you had to have an account with Discord for over a day to even join the server, kind of thing. And it had to be tied to your smartphone, kind of thing, with double security and all this other stuff. And eventually, I put so many restrictions on there that the guy was like, "Yeah, I give up. You know, I'm tired of this," and it wasn't worth his time. And then eventually, a few days later, I took off all those restrictions. He didn't come back, kind of thing. And then we've been having a flooding of people joining the Discord, thinking that we were the pirate site, asking me for help on their pirated game. It's like, my GTA, my stolen copy of GTA is not working. Can you tell me how to get it to work? I was like, I don't know. You'd have to ask the people who make the game, you know? And I had a bunch of them that was driving me nuts, and, you know, temporarily renamed the Discord to just Nexus instead of Nexus Games, which helped with preventing those people from joining. And I don't want a community full of pirates in my community, you know what I mean? I don't want, be like, hey, he just released a new game, let's go pirate it, kind of thing. I definitely don't want that. So I don't want those pirates on my Discord. So, put like a thing in announcements, or a thing when they first join that we have no affiliation with the other Nexus games. And, since then, a lot of people that join quit within the first 2 minutes because they're like, oh, this isn't the place I wanted to join. I would quit and join, the real one. And it's kind of a shame that, my massive amount of intake people on my Discord is not massive like that anymore. But, I'd rather have real people than pirates. You know what I mean? Any day. Because I do not want pirates on my Discord. And, that's mostly curtailed the problem. But, the fact is that it's only going to take one popular YouTuber to be like, fuck Nexus Games. And then I'm going to have a outpouring of bullshit on my Discord. And it has and none of them will check. And none of them will care when I tell them it's different Nexus Games. So we have to change, if I want any peace in life, we have to change the name. And that sucks because I'm really attached to that name. That's the reason why, because Nexus is named, the company is named after our flagship game, Project Nexus. It doesn't have a final name yet, but, and I really want Nexus in our new name. I don't know yet. I do have a list of potential names, so let me see if I can find those real quick. Here we go. Open up this here. Well, let me not blind by doing that. So this is my short list, and some of these I like more than others. Who Ate My Goldfish Games? Tasty Seal. Nexus Neon Ocean Studios, Neon Sea Studios, Neon Shark Nexus Studios, Neon Nexus Network, Neon Nexus Interactive, Neon Shark Interactive, Nexus Studios, Nexus Productions, Nexus Interactive, Sharky Nexus Games, Nexus Shark Studios. Those are the potentials right now. Oh, there's a few more, actually. Neon Shark Studios, The Nexus, Shark Bite Entertainment, and Sharktastic Studios. Neon Shark. Yeah, Neon Shark Interactive right there. The thing is I'm definitely against having Sharky in the name. I'm semi against having Shark in the name, and here's why. I don't want to be, you know, I guess you'd call it pretentious kind of thing, and name the studio after me. You know what I mean? Because I am not the entire studio. I am just a part of the studio. I'm the head of the studio, but not the studio itself. And I don't want to decredit people who work with me because, you know, my name's in the thing. You know what I mean? But I mean, Shark is more acceptable because, like, I can say that the entire crew that works for me are Sharks. You know what I mean? That I can semi get away from that, but really don't want my name in there. You know, Sharky named because of that, which is kind of, you know, killing this one right here. But like, and I really do want Nexus in there because, like, how much do I want to say of this on the internet? Okay. Truth is so the Project Nexus is my dream game, and Chromasia, Project Nexus, Neon Continuum, all those, they're technically all one game. So you know, they may seem like completely totally different games that have nothing to do with each other, but they are actually the same game. The easiest way to think about it is Avengers, Marvel's Avengers. Project Nexus is the Avengers, you know. Neon Continuum is Iron Man, you know. Chromasia is Thor, you know, kind of thing. That kind of thing. That's about all I'm willing to give away on the internet. That, you know, I'll tell you a lot more on the Discord kind of thing privately. Yeah, but you know, on the internet, you know, that's all I'm willing to say, you know, kind of thing. But like, so like, this game is technically part of Nexus kind of thing, you know, Project Nexus, as is Chromasia. So we're actually only making one giant, enormous game kind of thing. So all of our games are part of Project Nexus, essentially. So like, I really want Nexus in the name of the studio kind of thing. Because I mean, we're technically only making one game, and it's Nexus. So like, you know, you name the studio after the one thing you make, you know, essentially. Which is the reason why the name was Nexus Games all the way up to this point. So I really, really want Nexus in the game name. It's not a have to, but it's a desperately want to. And there's another aspect, because the whole Nexus introspect for, you know, the game, you know, the game itself, Project Nexus, that also applies to like the business model of the company. Because what a Nexus is it's the center of everything. It's the center of time, it's the center of the universe, the galaxy, it's the center of dimensions, it's the center of everything. So by that, you know, it's a center, it's a hub, you know, with a bunch of things rotating around it kind of thing, if you get what I'm saying. And that's kind of the same way I'm planning the company, because like the games is going to be the central part, the hub, you know, kind of thing, you know. And then we're going to get into publishing, you know. Then we're going to get into making our own platform like Steam kind of thing. We're going to get into having multiple small studios within our studio, if that makes any sense. Basically, there's going to be many teams that each on their own is basically an indie studio kind of thing. because what I'm going to do is basically, essentially make each of our teams basically into a semi-independent studio on their own, so that we'll be making, 15 indie games at the same time. But if we want to go to a bigger project like AAA scale, which is what Project Nexus is, then we can combine our resources, and all the small studios can come and work together as a large whole kind of thing, and be able to just really nail like that, put out something better than AAA quality kind of thing, and just, nail it kind of thing. So it, which is the reason why I refer to it as a triple I studio, is what I'm aiming for, because it's a indie studio. It's made up of basically a bunch of indie studios, essentially, that then can come together and put out something along the triple A level while still being an indie. You know what I mean? And like, there's so many other plans and everything, but everything rotates around the games that we make. Hence the name, the Nexus of Games, or Nexus Games. That's how I came up with that name, because, it's a nexus of all those things. It's what gives us, the ability to do all those things if we're actually successful, kind of thing. Yeah, it is huge. Like, if everything goes, if I'm able to achieve everything that I'm, planning to do, then I'll be more famous than Gabe, because just one aspect of one thing I do with the storefront will put me as big as Gabe, if not bigger, kind of thing. And then I'll have all these other aspects that are just, makes me dwarf Gabe in fame. Not that I want to be famous. I don't want to be famous at all, actually. I would like to be completely unfamous, but that doesn't work for my goal, because my goal, basically, achieving my goal causes fame. So, like, I can either give up on my goal or suffer through being famous, through something I don't want to be. Because my anxiety and all that stuff, I don't want to be famous, but I'm willing to deal with it to achieve my goals. But right now, all of that is a pipe dream until I get the hub, the Nexus, actually successful and able to expand out into these other things. And with those things, with the publishing and the store platform and whatnot, what I'm aiming to do is just completely change the industry for the better. Steam has so many issues with the lack of curation, the fees and everything they charge, the way the algorithm they have, all that crap is just like, that is not good for indie studios. And I'm going to fix all that, on my platform. And, we're not going to go, like, it's not like we're going to make the platform and then just do like Epic did and just, instantly try to start, trying to take on Steam. No, we're going to start the platform the same way Steam started their platform, the smart way, by starting it off with just our games, growing it out to, our friends' games, people who, I'm friends with and make good quality games and whatnot. And then we'll, start getting requests to come on, and then we'll review those games, and we'll let them on or not let them on, kind of thing. And then, we'll grow out bit by bit. And then once we hit a certain point, kind of thing, a minimum critical mass, then we'll open up to everyone, essentially. And that will be the point where we take on Steam and whatnot. Steam and Epic, if they're still around at that point. They probably will be, but, And you know, the publishing and everything, like so many publishers just absolutely screw over people. Like you know, we've talked about this on the Indie Inquiry little bit, you know, where, you know, we see a store page that is not great. I mean, it's not bad, but everything on it says that the publisher did this, you know, with, you know, like when we go to the title card, it's like, here's a link to this part of the publisher, here's a link to this part of the publisher, here's a link to this part of the publisher, here's a link to this part of the publisher. You don't need any kind of links to the developer. They're not important here, you know. And then like they don't get an A plus, that's for sure, on their Steam page. They normally get like B's and C's, you know, so they're not even doing like a great job at what they're doing. And like the thing is making your Steam page is the number one important part for publishing. And if a publisher is not marketing stuff right, what are they doing? You know? And it's like, you know, literally me and Josh could do a better job than a lot of these publishers. And a lot of these publishers, all they seem to do anyway is just make a Steam page and collect 30%. And you know, Josh and I can make a plenty better Steam page and collect 30%, you know, and do a way better job. That would not be a good publisher though, but that would be way better than what a lot of these publishers do, you know, out there. So like, you know, and they take 30% for doing it, and it's like, oh, ooh, 30% of lifetime sales for making a Steam page for you? And not even a great Steam page, just like a average one? Yeah, I wanna change that. I wanna become a great publisher, one that, you know, makes amazing A plus, S tier, you know, Steam pages kind of thing, that really raises the bar for like Steam as a whole. And like, I want to make like, I want to help games get funded, you know what I mean? I want to provide funding for them if they need it. I want to, you know, be able to give them good deals and not just like 30% for a Steam page, you know. Like if it's just a Steam page, you know, that they need kind of thing, then take a far lower percentage, you know. Maybe take a high percentage at first, and then once we break even, then we take a very, very low percent, you know, maybe like 30% until we, you know, break even kind of thing. And then like, you know, 2% after that or something like that, you know, because there's no point in, you know, charging that much for just a Steam page, you know. But more than likely, these games need more than just a Steam page, you know. So like, help with other marketing outside of the Steam page, and help with the game itself by coming in there and, you know, and play testing, giving feedback and everything, you know, and be like, you know, this part of the game is not going to work, you know, a red flag reduction kind of thing, you know what I mean? Go in there and be like, yeah, this stuff is red flags, this stuff is red flags, you need to change this, you need to do this, you need to do that to make your game better. And it'll be all about making the games better, getting better marketing, charging the developers less, unless they need like everything, in which case it might be the same, but you know, in general, charging the developers less, and just making publishing way, way better. And yeah, but you know, everything I want to do is to change the game dev industry for the better. But anyway, we've been, you know, talking here for a while, for 40 minutes. The stream was supposed to end 40 minutes ago. But, oh, Rob had his own publishing business? I did not know that. But, like, yeah, if you have any suggestions for, like, new names for the studio, let me know on the Discord kind of thing. And I will write them down. And eventually I need to figure out, what name we're going to go with. But anyway, thank you for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Until then, I'm out.